right. Uh, Episode 9 or 10. Either way, it's gonna be a good episode today. We got some, goddamn, we got some more ancient history going on. This is even more ancient than the last one. This is our most ancient history. Uh, Maybe not more ancient. No, never mind. It's it's top three for sure. Out of the 10 episodes I've made, it's top three. But yeah, I tried to start my day out like Liver King says to, go look at the sun. Didn't work at all. I'm so tired right now. My brain is fried. Don't take that advice. It just makes your eyes hurt. Instead, what you should do when you wake up is just put your phone at full brightness and scroll TikTok for 30 minutes. That's how I start my day, and it's working really well for me. You know what I mean? It's If you can't tell from this podcast, I'm functioning at such a high cognitive level, and I credit that all to scrolling TikTok for 30 minutes every morning with my phone on full brightness. But I don't know. None of these guys know what's going on. I'm gonna say it. Liver King, Andrew, don't listen to any of them. Not even the beloved King Joe Rogan, the Saint Rogies. They don't know what's going on, dude. Just gotta wake up and ball. Whoever's philosophy that is, Kevin Durant. I'm more of a Kevin Durant type of guy when it comes to health. I just got my phone out. That would have been really funny if somehow 30 minutes of this podcast was just me scrolling on my phone. Just me huffing out of my nose every 30 minutes. But, yeah. Alright, let's get into it. So, today's episode, we're talking about Stonehenge. I'm going to be 100% honest here. For up until I did this episode, I thought it was Stonehenge. Like, over the hedge. You know, like bush. Here's the thing, Stonehenge and Stonehenge, neither of them make sense unless I don't know what a henge is, which I don't. Let's look up what a henge is. A prehistoric monument. Yeah, never mind. So I am retarded. Which, if you couldn't tell from the first 2 minutes, yeah, you're dumber than I am. Which, get that checked out. You might have the extra chromie if you're not on my level. All right. We're just gonna get straight into it. Today's episode should hopefully be around 45 minutes. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I could never be a teacher, dude. I don't know how they do it. And well, most of them don't, actually. Most of my professors either run 10 minutes long or like they don't finish like the lecture because time runs out, or they finish like 20 minutes early. I have a class that finishes an hour early every time. And look, I fucking love it, but still, it is kind of crazy. He also doesn't give a shit. So there's that. Anyway, Stonehenge. Alright, we're just gonna get a little bit of background information on it before we get straight into it. It is located in Salisbury, England. And something you gotta know is that like basically all of England and like Scotland and Wales and all that shit, you think of it as like this flat, or not flat, but like unwooded expanse of just like green pastures and stuff. It's not, or it wasn't always like that. It is now because it's just pure agrarian. That is kind of crazy to think about. Like living in America and then thinking about how like a lot of like Europe and kind of Asia are just like completely denaturalized. You know what I mean? But anyway, so it was once a wooded area. And I think that's kind of important to this. Give some context to what was going on. But yeah, and it's kind of like in a hilly area, not super hilly, but like rolling type of hills. Anyway, it was designated as an important historical monument in 1882. It's made out of sarsen stone, which is from England, and then it's also a lot of the big pieces are made out of the stuff called bluestone, which is from Wales. which Wales is part of the United Kingdom, but it's basically like if you could imagine like the Isle of Britain or whatever the fuck the island's called. I think that's what it's called. And then like the little west half on the left side of the island with those two little like spikes going out kind of that that's Wales. And this is kind of in the middle of like southern England, like south central. You know what I mean? It's in the Crenshaw of England. It's in south central anyway. It was built in several phases over at least 1,500 years. And I read that and I was like, if that's true, none of the alien conspiracies or anything makes sense. You know what I mean? 1,500 years. If they were like it was built in 20, I'd be like, all right. But 1,500, dude. How many generations is that? That's like I just tried to do the math in my head, and like I said, I'm too tired. But yeah, it's like 70 generations. So if that's true, I don't believe the alien hype. Um, and we're gonna talk. Actually, no, we're not really gonna talk about aliens too much, but just a little bit at the end. We're mostly gonna talk about the phases it was built. All right, history of Stonehenge, I guess. Historians believe that the area has been an important spiritual site since at least 8,000 BC, which that's Ice Age times, in case you were wondering. So, yeah, they've been doing this for a minute. It's believed to either be a lunisolar calendar or a burial place, and it's definitely a burial place, but it's probably also a calendar. They probably got a 2-for-1 special on this one. You know what I mean, guys? We're talking about caveman times, so you know what I mean? You couldn't have a separate burial place and a separate lunisolar calendar, dude. You had to have both in the same place, and they didn't have the resources for both. Um, the cavemen were logistically smart, dude. If there's one thing I know about them. Anyway, all right. So we got what's called Stonehenge 1. This is our first little thing. In the first few phases, like the first 4, I think, are really long, and then the last 2, dude, it's sad to see. Or maybe it's the last 3. They just gave up completely. Or they didn't give up. I think they realized they're like, dude, we can't do any better than this. You know what I mean? We don't have wheels yet. How the fuck are we gonna figure this out? But anyway, okay. So Stonehenge 1. The first phase was a circular enclosure about 360 feet in diameter, with a perimeter that consisted of a ditch and a mound of chalk that went around the perimeter. And this was either built in 3100 BC or 3600 BC. So it's a while, it's been around for a while. So yeah, it's basically just a ditch on the outside, and I guess there was a bunch of like the dirt is made out of chalk or something, like literally like white chalk. I don't know. I really don't know that much about rocks. I was never a big geology guy. Whenever people were interested in geology, I was like, there's animals, right? Like, oh yeah, you're interested in rocks, these things that don't do anything. It takes 4 billion years for fucking rocks to move, dude. Have you ever seen a dog run? Those things run fast as fuck. But anyway, so yeah, and they basically just took all the dirt they dug from this ditch and piled it up like inside the ditch. You know what I mean? Like on the inner part of the ditch. So, um, the builders placed deer and ox bones into the ditch. The bones found there were much older than the tools used to dig the ditch. So these were probably like some kind of like sacred bones or something. These guys were like druid types, by the way. I was thinking about doing an episode on druids, but yeah, that'll probably come in the future because I can't do Stonehenge and then druids. And also this week's fucking Halloween, dude. We're definitely doing a Halloween episode. Actually, I already know it. We're doing vampires, by the way, in case you were wondering. So there's that. Um, but anyway, yeah, and this was like I think it said they used like flint like flint tools to dig the ditch. So they didn't even have like copper or brass or whatever. So yeah, this must have taken a minute, but they did it. And around the perimeter of the inner circle, so inside, so it goes ditch, mound, and then the very inner part. Um, there are 56 pits called the Aubrey holes, which I thought was funny. Like Aubrey is Drake's real name, and they're called the Aubrey holes. I was like, dude, sus as hell, dude. They've been dissing Drizzy since fucking the Stone Age, bro. Who knew? But anyway, that were believed to have held timbers, dude. So Aubrey's holes held wood. Dude, Drake just got fucking destroyed. It's a good thing he has $1 billion and is also a pedophile, so he's probably not taking it up the ass. But anyway, or maybe, dude. No, there's no way. If you're a pedophile, there's no way you're never mind, dude. Never mind. Anyway, uh, 63 people were buried in the circle. Some believe that the blue stone, which is the stuff that comes from Wales, was used as grave markers. Um, and I drew like a bird's eye view of the fucking Stonehenge, and you guys better go to the Instagram to look at this one. You guys, I'm talking to no one at this point. You know what I mean? I get like a click, and I feel like someone will listen for 10 minutes, give it a try, give it the old college try, and then I'll start talking about pedophiles and butt sex, and then everyone stops listening for some reason. Who would ever thought that would happen? But anyway, I drew this like bird's eye view, and it has exactly 56 dots for the Aubrey holes. So I'm pretty proud of myself for that one. It took me less than a minute to do, but at this point, dude, I'm just so lazy. Even something that takes a minute, I was like, oh, why do I have to do this? That's how I feel about pretty much everything in life. Like, I have to do this? Alright. Anyway, now we're on to Stonehenge number 2. So apparently there is a Stonehenge number 2 in Ingram, Texas. Uh, it's got 4 stars on TripAdvisor. So it's pretty exciting. It looks like it's made out of foam, but I don't know. If you're ever in Ingram, Texas, go give it a look. Yeah, it looks very shittily made. Or maybe not shittily made, but you can tell it's styrofoam, dude. That's foam henge, bro. Come on, that's not stone. Anyway, so phase 2, we're talking 29 BC to 2600 BC. So evidence of more post holes suggests that a timber structure was built at this time. I don't know what that means, but maybe like a house or like a altar or something. I don't know. Um, Aubrey holes become cremation burial sites, and I was like, I feel like those are the important people. You know what I mean? So they take the logs out at this point, and they start putting cremated remains in there. Which that one, I was like, damn, dude, they were cremating people all the way back then. You know what I mean? In 2600 BC, they had the technology to do that, but they were honestly probably just burning up the bodies. I don't think they were getting the bones, dude. Nowadays, we can get the bones for sure, turn those things straight to dust, but I feel like back in the day, dude, they were not getting the bones. They were cooking them, you know what I mean? Maybe it made it easier for them to break and shit, but they were not. No way they were burning up the bones back then, dude. You need like a jet engine for that shit or something. I don't know, dude. Once you get into talking about like burning bodies, that's when the dogs come into play. That's when the people who question genocides come into play, if you know what I mean. So I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but anyway. So it's believed to have been an enclosed cremation cemetery at this point, and I think it said it was like the oldest in England and maybe in Europe. I really don't know what an enclosed cremation cemetery is. I don't know if that's where they burn the bodies or just if that's where they bury them. I imagine it's just where they bury them. But anyway, it looked pretty similar to phase 2 or phase 1. So, yeah, not making a lot of progress here. Now, Stonehenge 3, it's 5 parts. And, you know, I don't know why they didn't break it down into Stonehenge 4 or 5, but I guess it's because they were all just like making it out of stone. You know what I mean? Like in phase 1, it was made out of wood. Phase 2 turned to a fucking cemetery. And now in phase 3, I guess now is when it's being made out of stone. So yeah, I think part 1, 2, and 3, this is where the business gets serious. You know what I mean? But yeah, part 3, 4, and 5, lackluster to say the least. You think at that point when they have more technology and stuff, they'd be building it up crazier, making a dome or something? No. Making a pyramid? No. They're just putting more rocks on top of each other. Which is, I mean, that's kind of what the pyramids are, but pyramids are way sicker than this. And I think this is probably around pyramid time, now that I'm thinking about it. So, yeah, when these guys were fucking in England, just putting like 4 rocks on top of each other, they were in Egypt putting like 10,000 rocks on top of each other. They were just like that. I don't know. Like, for real. Bitch them. It's crazy the gap, dude. Skill gap is crazy. These fucking apes are stacking rocks on top of each other. Meanwhile, these dudes are building like cranes and shit. Anyway, part 1 of Stonehenge 3, around 2600 BC. Builders started using stone. Damn, dude. God, I gotta get better at reading my notes. Anyway, so they dug more holes to use as stands for the stones, and they dug 80 of these holes. So yeah, that's interesting. When I found this out, like you look at pictures of Stonehenge and you're like, why hasn't it fallen over yet? That seems like 100% like it should have been pushed over or fallen over. But like half the stone is buried in the ground, or not half. I don't know if it's half. I don't really know how deep it is, but how deep is it? All right. Um, but no, it's like the fucking Easter Island heads. Like they're not heads, like they're full body statues. You just can't tell because like they're buried in the ground. Um, and so that's what they did here. They did 80 of them. And I think at this point it's just bluestones. But anyway, the bluestones were transported 150 miles, pallbearer style, from an ancient quarry in Pembrokeshire, or Wales, not England. So yeah, and originally they thought like maybe like glaciers or something somehow pushed the stones over from Wales. No, these dudes like, or this is their guess, is that they basically just put a bunch of sticks under it, and like I guess a ton of dudes just lifted it up and walked it over. Which I don't know. You know what I mean? Do you believe that? I don't exactly believe it. I'm not saying aliens did it. Maybe they had some more advanced technology than we know about. Maybe they had wheels. That's my whole thing. Whenever people are like, oh, this civilization didn't have wheels, they didn't have wheels, I find that almost impossible to believe. You're telling me they didn't have wheels? They were probably just made out of wood, and they just like all broke down. Maybe they didn't have a ton of wheels, but I'm saying they had wheels, dude. Everyone else can suck my dick. They had wheels. So that's my personal theory, is that they had wheels. Because it's like, dude, that's like the most simple invention. They're like, no, they didn't have wheels. They rolled them on logs. Let's At that point, dude, let's call a spade a spade. That's a fucking wheel. It's just not. Is it a wheel? I don't really know. It's basically a fucking wheel. So suck my dick. They had wheels. Anyway, I'm glad I'm going on rants about wheels instead of rants about, I don't know, like like what I typically go on about. Because that was like a joke. I don't really give a shit. Same with everything else. It's just I think it's better for people to hear that than hear me go on my Alex Jones rants. I was thinking about that, dude. I know I keep saying I'm Fox News. I need to be Alex Jones. Because Fox News is like, oh, tiptoeing around and shit. No, Alex Jones just says what he says and doesn't care. That's what I need to do. Which, it ends very good or very bad. Who knows? But I'm not out here, you know what I mean? I guess I did kind of talk about, the Holocaust for a second there, but I said I didn't want it. So, all right. Goddamn, dude. I thought my brain was ready for this episode. Nope, I ain't coming up with shit. Anyway, um, there was another similar stone circle in Persilia, Persiliwa, or wait. Oh my god, dude. I'm so retarded. Perseli in Wales. I accidentally was like combining the two words because they were too close together. Maybe. And some historians believe that the stones from Stonehenge are the same from there. And just like the inner circle, the blue stones. So not like the big ones with like the other ones on top of it, just like these little freestanding ones. You know what I mean? Or not freestanding, but just standing on their own. I guess that's freestanding. But anyway, so that's what they think. And they think like either some people from there moved to Stonehenge from Wales to Stonehenge and then they set up shop there, or they think like two tribes combined together and they were like, and like that Stonehenge was like a representation of the two tribes coming together because of the blue stone from Wales and then the sarsen stone, which is from around there in England, around Salisbury in England. So, or maybe they just thought the stone looked sick. Looked sick. I don't know. Or maybe they fucking conquered that tribe and just murdered them all, and they were like, dude, these stones are sick. We're taking them. I don't know. Anyway, the altar stone is a 6-ton, 2-meter stone that was transported 430 miles from northeast Scotland to Stonehenge. I wrote, do we know afterwards? Oh, yeah. I was thinking about that too. I was like, you might be able to tell that it's from Scotland, dude. Whenever people say some shit like that with like 100% certainty, you know what I mean? I'm like, do you really know? It's like when people talk about evolution and they're like, it happened exactly this way and then it went from this to this. And I'm like, dude, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you probably don't know, dude. I know I don't know. I don't know everything about me, dude. And I know you don't know everything about you either. So let's not act like we fucking figured everything out. You know what I mean? We don't know a lot of shit. I mean, as like people, as like a whole, we don't know a lot of shit. So, do we know that it's from Scotland? I mean, it probably is. I'll believe him on this one. I don't believe him on the wheels bullshit. They had to have had wheels. No way they're getting it done without it. 430 miles? Come on now. But also, maybe we'll talk about it later, but they basically think like all like the Celtic people from all of that island in Britain, whatever it's called. I think it's just called Britain. Yeah, it's called Britain 100%. Yeah. All right. They think like all the people from Britain like teamed up there or like chilled there together during like the summer solstice and shit. Or not the summer solstice, midsummer, which is different. Um yeah, I guess midsummer is just the middle of summer. That makes sense. But anyway, they think they were chilling there together. So I'll give them that one. I'll give them Scotland. I, and maybe Wales, I guess, too. I gotta give them Wales if I'm gonna give them Scotland. I still think they had wheels, though. Anyway, at this time, the northeastern entrance was widened and perfectly matched the midsummer sunrise in the midwinter sunset. I accidentally wrote midsummer. So, yeah. And honestly, dude, I was thinking about it. That's like a better time to party. Because midsummer is like all the shit's already planted and growing for the most part. So you don't got to worry about that. I don't know if they were farming. They probably were. And it's also like, dude, it's been hot as fuck, muggy all summer long. Like at this point, England was just like a swamp. So it's been muggy as fuck. You're getting bit up by mosquitoes, dude. It's like, let's go to Stonehenge to party. And then midwinter, also a great time to party. Because winter fucking sucks, dude. I, if you guys can't tell, I'm a winter hater, dude. Winter's cool for about a month, and then after that, it's just hell. Like after New Year's, winter is maybe the worst time of year, in my opinion. Worse than 9/11. I'd say January 1st is more tragic than 9/11 in my personal opinion. Just because, dude, everyone, some people are hopeful, but for the most part, I feel like that's like a facade. Because that winter's about to suck dick. It's about to be cold for another 3 months. It's already been cold for two. At least in those 2 months, you got all like those holidays and shit. You got Thanksgiving, Christmas. I guess my birthday. My birthday's in like the middle of January. So I guess, you know, maybe after that. But I feel like just after New Year's, it's just hell. Or after, like, if you're in school and you go back to school, it's just like hell until spring break. You know what I mean? So that's why I think midwinter is like a good time to do it. You know what I mean? It gets you nice and hyped up, and you're like, you can go chill for the rest of winter. So I thought they had shit figured out. They knew it was time to party then to keep everyone happy. But they also partied on like the solstices. But anyway, the heel stone may have also been placed at the entrance during this time. Yeah, I don't know why it's called the heel stone, but yeah, this is just another freestanding stone. Um, and then also two mounds called barrows, 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 I think is how you'd say that, were also added, along with two 2 mile long ditches leading to the river Avon. Which, by the way, Avon means river in Celtic languages. So when the Romans pulled up, they were like, "Yo, what is that river called?" And they were like, "Oh, it's called Avon." And they were like, "Okay, this is the Avon River." So it's just saying river, river, basically. But I mean, no one speaks that. Or I guess people in Ireland do, but do they really count as people? No, I'm kidding. Am I, dude? Those fucking papists. Anyway, it's like how a lot of like the Indian names for things are just like land. Like they're like, "What's this island called?" And they're like, "This is just the land." And they were like, "Ooh, Manhattan or whatever." You know what I mean? Um. Anyway, yeah. And so what? I don't know if you guys are thinking what I was thinking, but I was like, "There's probably like bones in these mounds." No, they're just big mounds of like chalk and dirt and stuff. Which maybe like I was thinking maybe like the sun, like perfectly. When people like pretend to push up the Leaning Tower of Pizza? I was thinking maybe it's like that, but for the sun during like a certain time of the year. Like when the sun sets or rises during a certain time of the year, it like perfectly is like, if you look at it from the right angle, it looks like it's resting on top of this mountain. Which maybe, I don't know, I didn't go too in depth for this one, but that might be the case. If that's the case and I figured it out on my own, they better give me a fucking credit on this shit, dude. I better win the Nobel Prize. I don't know. Fuck, dude. My brain's just empty on this. I'm talking a lot, but I'm just talking nonsense, which is typical, but at least the nonsense I feel like is a little more creative, usually. But anyway, so the big outer ring. Okay, so this is part two of Stonehenge number three. So, and this is 2600 BC to 2400 BC. Um, anyway, and it was called the ambitious phase, or that's what I'm calling it, because this is when they got shit done for real. So the big outer ring was constructed around this time using sarsen stone from a quarry around 16 miles away. So if you wanted to say they did that shit without wheels, maybe. But even then, 16 miles, and these are like 20-ton stones or something like that. I, I think they got wheels, dude. I don't think that's like a crazy thing to say, but I feel like if you said that to like an archaeologist or something, they'd be like, "You motherfucker." You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's like these college educated people. You know what I mean? They're like, "Oh, I'm an atheist. Do you believe in God?" And it's like, no, I don't. But you believe in God too. You just have a different God. Your God is just science. Which, if anyone questions, you lose your mind. God, dude, I'm so smart making takes like this, dude. Just out of nowhere, out of thin air. No one's ever said that before. But anyway, I'm saying they had wheels, dude. Suck my dick. The stones fit together using woodworking techniques. So yeah, if also you were thinking what I was thinking and they just like perfectly balanced these stones on top of each other, no. It was kind of like they had a hole in the stone on top and a peg in the stone on bottom, and they like carved it out and they just like fit together. So it was harder for them to fall. Which yeah, fair enough. And they were like, okay, so no wheels at this time is what you're telling me. But then they were like, maybe they use like these crane type of things to make them. And I was like, dude, if they have those, they have fucking wheels. Stop pissing me off, dude. You're making me upset. Saying these fuckers didn't have wheels, dude. Give my boys some credit. Anyway, the stones were worked with perspective in mind before they were erected. Um, the circle was once fully complete. So yeah, now it's not complete, but it once was. But yeah, so they basically, and what it means when they were worked with perspective in mind, I think they're either wider at top or thinner at the top. I don't know, dude. I have horrible depth perception, so I don't know. But yeah, they were basically done so they look the same width all the way up and down. If you're looking at them from like, if you're close to them and just looking kind of straight up at them, they look the same width all the way up and down. And then the stones that were placed on top were kind of, the inner part was like smoothed and like kind of curved in, so it made a more circular look. It didn't look like an octagon or like a 10-sided polygon or whatever. It looked like a circle, which I mean, that's pretty sick. But anyway, within this circle, there were 5 trilithons of sarsen in a horseshoe shape, and these were about 20 to 25 feet tall. And a trilithon, it's basically like the symbol pi, but the two sides, like the two things that stick down from the top little bar, are close together. I drew a picture of it in my notes, so I don't know. If anyone's listening to this that cares that much, it'll be on the Instagram, or you can just Google it and find a better picture, which is either way, it gets the idea across. You know what I mean? This is a simple concept, so I was like, I can draw that. But anyway, God, dude, I say but anyway so much. That's another thing I gotta fix. I gotta learn how to turn it on, dude, and I gotta learn how to say, not say but anyway. Um, During this time, as many as 4,000 people may have gathered at Stonehenge for midwinter and midsummer festivals, with traces of livestock born in spring being brought all the way from Scotland. So, yeah, they would take their animals that were born in either that spring or the spring before, and they'd bring them to this party, dude. And I was like, dude, this is spring break. These fuckers been doing spring break for a while, because it's like, I guess it's not really like spring break, because spring break is right in the middle of the school year, and it's like you got all this shit going on, and then you just get a break off. But this is the middle of summer, middle of winter. Like, I'm sure they had shit going on, but not for real. So it's kind of spring break. It's more of like a summer break. You know what I mean? How like some people, or like a summer break after college, when some people are working, some people are not, and then like the people that are working take a week off. Everyone just parties. That's kind of what this is like. And I was like, dude, 4,000 people. I bet there were more. Maybe at one time it was just 4,000 people, but like, I think total over the course of the year, we're talking at least 10K. And I say this with zero archaeological evidence. I mean, it definitely makes sense that they get pissed when you tell them, dude, they definitely had wheels, because these people spend their whole lives trying to prove that these guys didn't have wheels. So it's like when you say they definitely had wheels, they're like, no, no, you fucking idiot. They did not have wheels. And it's like, dude, come on. Little kids know about that shit, dude. I know these guys are retarded, but they had wheels. Um, I need to learn how to transition better. I just go, that's my transition from one thing to the next. And then, oh. Okay, so around the same time, a timber circle was erected about 2 miles away from Stonehenge and aligned with the sun during the summer and winter solstice. Some believe that the two circles were linked and used as part of the same ceremonies. So I'm going to look up how far midsummer is away from the summer solstice. Is midsummer from the summer solstice? Um, oh, what the fuck? Apparently, midsummer is a celebration of the season of summer taking place on or near the date of the summer solstice. What the fuck? I did not. I thought it was. We were talking like you got summer and then you got fall and then midsummer's right in the mid. I did not. Damn. Okay. Because I thought they were. This was like a 2 month long party. Nah, or like a month and a half. However long seasons are, dude. Yeah, 3 months, right? There's three. Yeah, a month and a half. Damn, dude, I did not see that one coming. Huh. So these dudes were just kind of like ditching whatever they had going on to go party. Hey, shout out them, I guess, dude. But that's also why the Romans fucking destroyed them, dude. That's why the Romans showed up to that island and conquered it in about 3.5 minutes, dude. Because these guys were partying when they should have been making crops, dude. Should have been planting rows of wheat. I don't even know if they had farming back then, dude, but they should have been doing something. Um, but yeah, dude, and those fucking ceremonies were probably crazy, dude, because they were probably all like either drunk or like fucked up on some weird ancient psychedelic. People probably had like deer antlers on their head. It's like if you guys have seen that movie Midsummer, which it's sick as fuck. I love that movie, dude. It's probably like that times 10. It was probably like a mixture of them Midsummer and what's that shit called? The Northman. When he takes them fucking toadstool mushrooms and starts spurging out in that basement with Willem Dafoe and Ethan Hawke. If you guys remember that part. By the way, dude, parents that let their kids be actors are fucking crazy, dude. That kid was in his underwear in this weird, like, dark room with Willem Dafoe and Ethan Hawke just screaming like a motherfucker. I don't know. I wouldn't. I'm gonna take a stand here and say I wouldn't let my kid do that. Even if I was there, I wouldn't let him do it. But anyway. But anyway. Maybe that'll just be my like signature saying. I'll go on a rant and then I'll just hit him with a bit anyway. I think that's what. There's no other option. Anyway, part three. We're starting to slow down here. Um, yeah, this is like the room rearranging part. Bluestones were moved and trimmed, and may have been linked with lintels like the outer sarsens. So yeah, the lintel is like the stone that goes across the two standing up stones. So yeah, and I said this was like room rearranging because have you guys ever rearranged your room just to like put it back the same way? You know what I mean? Like you think you can improve it, but it's like, no, dude, got it right the first time. There's no better way to do this. This has me wanting to rearrange my room. I gotta save that for the middle of winter, dude. I gotta have something. I gotta have a change of pace somewhere in the middle of winter, or else I'm gonna lose my mind. But anyway, yeah, and this part was from 2400 BC to 2280 BC, and this was part three. And then part four, 2280 BC, 2280 BC to 1930 BC. And I was like, were these the best times? I think they might have been the best times, dude. Because think about it, Stonehenge is already built. You kind of already got your farms or whatever figured out, and now it's just party time. Like you don't got to do a lot of shit. You don't have to spend all day moving stones with wheels, which you had. But anyway, the blue stones were again rearranged into a circle between the two sarsen rings. So there's like the very inner horseshoe sarsen, and then there's the outer sarsen, like the big ones. You know what I mean? What you think of when you think of Stonehenge. And in the horseshoe, they arranged the sarsens into a little oval. So there's two sarsen rings and two um, bluestone rings at this point. It was not Melway. Holy shit, dude. My brain is fried. It was not well made at this time, and the bluestones began falling over. So yeah, this is like the point in history. You know what I mean? Soft or wait, what? Hard men create easy times. Times create soft men. That's kind of what happened here, dude. These guys did not give a fuck. It's like it's like when your grandparents are like, "You don't go to church anymore. Why don't you go to church?" And it's like, "Shut up, grandma." I said that's what I say. I totally talk to my grandma all the time, constantly. Anyway, but no, I feel like that's what this is kind of like. It's like when old people are like, still going to church and stuff. And they're like, why doesn't anyone go to church anymore? It's like, because you made life too easy. You made life so easy, everyone stopped believing in God for some reason, which is weird. You think you'd believe in that shit when it's easier. Like, if life was hard, you're like, dude, fuck all this, dude. There's nothing out there. It's me alone suffering, which I guess is kind of why you have to believe in God at that point. But I'm not saying God's real or not real. I'm just ranting, dude. My brain is fried at this point, which is, it sucks. Because I wish it wasn't. I wish I was fully on. I drink some caffeine. I don't know why it's not working. But yeah, that's part 4. And we're starting to slow down, dude. This is my least favorite part of every episode. Because my brain isn't working and everything's just, even in like the story, it's starting to slow down, it's starting to get a little sad. Next week probably won't be like this. Because it's not really like a story or like something that happened over time. But ooh, what's the theme gonna be? But now we're on to part 5, dude. Party time is over. You hate to see it go. It sucks. But yeah, this is from 1930 BC to 1600 BC. The inner bluestone oval was made to match the horseshoe. So the horseshoe made out of trilithons that are sarsen, yeah, now it matches these bluestones. This phase matches Henge at Timber Circle in Norfolk, England. So yeah, I guess they look the same, so maybe they were linked somehow. All right. So that's the end of Stonehenge, dude. How far did it fall? That's what I'm like. It's crazy, dude. They built all that shit in phase like 1, 2, and 3, and now they're there. You hate to see it happen. And they built nothing else like they. I don't believe in these fairy tales, Mom. That's what these guys were like. You know what I mean? It's like when people call God Sky Daddy. I don't believe in these myths, man. I'm gonna go believe in something else. That's what they were like. Like, I don't believe in timber circles. Everyone knows that the woods are filled with spirits. Everyone knows the trees have spirits, not stones, Mom, you idiot. That's what they were like there. And that's where we're at now with the whole, God atheism thing. I don't believe in God. I believe in science. Like, buddy, I know science has done some good, but so is religion. It's the same shit. And people are going to get mad at that, which is so funny. I'm a guy, or no one's actually going to get mad at that because no one's listening. But if anyone was, they'd get mad at that. No, it's not the same. It's different. This time it's different. No, it's always the same. Um, but anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about the theories of Stonehenge. Oh, this one's going to make the science fucking nerds real mad. Which, why are you mad? Who cares? What are you going to fucking do about it? Anyway, so there is little to no evidence of how the builders constructed Stonehenge. So, my wheels theory, y'all still got to disprove this one. Um, I think I made a banger with that. Anyway, um, some folk tales posit the idea that Merlin had giants build it. And Merlin's like super important. I don't know exactly who Merlin is. I know he's a wizard, and I think he's part of King Arthur's court. So, yeah, that's really all I know about Merlin. But some others say it was built by the devil. So, we got that. Which honestly, both of those theories are just as likely to me as they didn't have wheels. So, how do you feel now, science nerds? You're the same. But anyway, in the 1600s, some people believed it to be a Roman temple, So they didn't really, at this time, they were like, Rome is the greatest empire we've ever seen. And at that time, the Byzantine Empire had just fallen. So Rome had just fallen after like over 2,000 years, basically. So, which is insane. So they were like, dude, 2,000 years? That's the most time. How fucking far back does this shit go? And so they're probably like, Rome's probably existed for at least like a billion years. However long the Earth's been around, Rome has been around. So that's probably why they thought it was like a Roman temple, or some people did. But in 1640, um, John Aubrey, which is crazy that we have two Aubreys in this story, brought forward the idea that it was made for Celtic pagans, or like that it was made by Druids. I think is exactly what he said. But I think John Aubrey got the basic idea down. It was like some Celtic pagan shit, or it was made by giants. I doubt that one, dude. I feel like giants, they just got to eat so much. You know what I mean? But anyway. But anyway. So, and then we got like the classic theories. We got aliens, ley lines, Atlantis. Some people believe it was like a sound healing thing, which I guess, does that shit work or not? I don't know. Is the jury still out on that one? It seems like it might work because it's like sound is like energy. It's like electricity. How dumb am I? Sound is like electricity, but I mean it is. Like sound waves are, they carry energy. So I mean they must do something to your body, right? Maybe they just shake it, but it could be. I don't know. But they think that it was like a sound thing because blue stones like resonate in like some type of way. I don't really know. They say they have like a frequency to them, but that could just be bullshit. Um, it probably is. So no one really knows how it was built or exactly how they celebrated the ceremony. My guess for how they celebrated the ceremony is they got fucked up and they ate a bunch of animals. So my guess, Thanksgiving. I'm gonna put that one right down. So if there's two things that you can take from this episode, they had wheels, and this was just like basically a big ass Thanksgiving. That's my guess. I don't think they were sacrificing people, dude. I don't think they had enough people to sacrifice. You only start sacrificing people when shit gets really, really bad or really, really good. So, but yeah, my guess is Thanksgiving. And they were probably taking like some weird psychedelic or something, or maybe not even a psychedelic, like some shit that just like poisons you and gets you high, which is what alcohol is. So yeah, this episode, I'm gonna be honest, wasn't great. I don't know, my brain just wasn't working right for this one, which sucks. But what are you gonna do about it, dude? And it's not like anyone's listening. And this, these episodes where no one listens is just a practice episode, especially at this point. Like no one's still listening to it, even if they listen to like the first 10, 20 minutes of it. Which if you did, thank you. And you're also listening to this, fucking triple thank you, quadruple thank you. But yeah, that's what's going on. Let's see. We'll probably have a mini episode this week of some kind, just so I can, keep the brain active. But it probably won't be great because I have a ton of homework, dude. Which, by the way, that shit pissed me off. Every class, so I just got off of fall break and I went back to class, and every single class was like, we're going to pick it up the second half of the semester. No, dude. That's when you slow shit the fuck down. I got finals, man. I don't want to worry about all this shit and finals. You know what I mean? And it's winter time too. I'm gonna be depressed as fuck. So it's like, and you're giving me all these assignments. That's not a good plan. Give me when I'm nice and hopeful at the beginning of the year. That's when you give me all the homework. When I'm like, I'm gonna be a good student. I'm gonna do all my homework and turn it in on time and study for all my tests. That's when you give it to me. You know what I mean? Not not when it's winter and I'm eating 1,700 fucking calories a day and my brain barely works. You know what I mean? And it's cold as fuck outside and I don't want to even leave my bed, let alone my dorm. That's not when you give me homework, dude. But You know what I mean? You got to do it. I'm not gonna enjoy doing it, and I'm gonna bullshit most of it. So if you're a professor listening to this, just know I'm not supposed to use Wikipedia as a source. How about you eat my whole ass and I just basically transcribe a Wikipedia page? How about let's do that? You know what I mean? Oh, I need to use an academic source. Wikipedia is more reliable than all that. I'm sorry. Wikipedia, anyone can edit Wikipedia. Dude, anyone can get something published in a fucking journal. It's all about money. It doesn't matter if they're right or wrong. It matters how much money they have or like how much credit they have, which I guess that kind of matters a little bit, but I don't know. Lots of people have gotten credit that don't deserve. So you can suck my dick with these academic sources. I'm using Wikipedia. Fuck, today's the 20th. Oh my god. What do I have to do this week? I just got so much homework. This anthropology class pissing me off. I don't know if I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Cultural anthropology, do not take it unless you have to. For me, it was the only option, but I mean, you are not talking about Stonehenge, dude. I'll say that much. You're talking about what the fuck did we talk about this week? I literally can't remember. My brain just blocks that shit the fuck out. What did we talk about? I don't know. Some bullshit about, I don't know, like feminism or fucking classism or whatever. I don't know. It's the same old shit every week. But I have to pretend to care so that I can get an A in the class. But yeah, that's all for this week. God, depressing ending to this episode. This whole episode wasn't great. Apologies. I thought it was going to be good, but you know, shit happens sometimes. Maybe it's because I ate so much. I did eat like a big ass bowl of cereal, which with that my body's not used to that, so that probably wasn't a fantastic idea to do that. But what are you gonna do? It's definitely the cereal, dude. I can feel my insulin spiking right now. I'm about to pass out. God damn. Fortunately, today is Sunday, so I can get a little sleepy. But yeah, rest of the day I'll probably just do homework. All right, you guys don't care. No one's listening to this. This is what the mini episodes are for, dude. So I can rant about homework. But anyway, yeah, I think that's all for this week. I hope to see you guys whenever. You guys, half the listeners of every episode are me. I listen on my actual Spotify account, which is so funny. Or I don't listen. I just play the episode. I cannot listen to my voice, dude. That's why I'll never know how good the audio quality is because I just can't listen to it. Because I feel like I have a normal voice, and then I listen to it, and it's like, dude, am I 12? I sound like I'm going through puberty. Which, I mean, technically, but I am a grown ass man. So I shouldn't sound like that. But whatever. Doesn't matter. Nothing matters. I'm an emo now. Have a great week. Great rest of your day. If you're listening to this on Sunday or Friday, or if maybe you're taking the next 2 days off next week, dude. I don't know. But whenever you're listening to this, whatever point you're at in life, hope it's going well. Um, and hopefully I'll see you guys next week in one of the episodes. Who knows? All right. Goodbye.